Now then, let's have a little recap at what we've been focusing on during this hour. It is jewellery making, of course, with the lovely Kleshna. We've had an introduction to the stitches. We've covered quite a lot of the different styles of beads. We've been looking at the right angle weave, and we are going to move on as well to the daisy chain stitch, which is really very pretty. We've got a few of the finished bracelets here to have a little look at, and this is quite dainty. It's very elegant. Again, very cleverly stitching beads together to create a really beautiful pattern, Kleshna.
Thank you. It is. It's actually like all of these stitches. You know, it's quite a simple stitch, but initially you're going to sit there and think, oh my goodness me, it's not that simple. But it is, I promise you. Do
you know what? Quite often when you start out in the world of jewellery making, when I thought about it, and I was saying, I've got to get all the tools, and you don't. For what you're doing here, this is sewing. Many of us actually do sewing, whether it's hand sewing machines. So as long as you do have that very fine needle and some of the right thread, you can create beautiful pieces of jewellery just with sewing.
I mean, it is the most extraordinary, and actually the other great thing is it's so relaxing. You know, it's something you can do whilst you're sitting in front of the telly. It's something you can do whilst you're with friends having a coffee. It's a lovely thing.
And also, if you're travelling, if you're crafting, if you're going on holiday and you want to take a technique with you, some crafting to do, this is something that's quite lightweight, doesn't take a lot of space. Just get your little pots of jewels, your thread and your needles, and take it with you.
In fact, you know what I often do? I'm somebody who always has to be doing something with my hands. I use a little wash bag, a little old makeup bag, and whenever I'm going out, I have like a grab bag, and I think, oh, right, okay, I'm going to make a daisy chain bracelet. All I need is my needle, my thread. This is why I love these little pots.
Yeah, they're handy.
We actually often sell everything in the pots too, and send it out because I just think they're fabulous for being able to do that. Right, daisy chain stitch. Very simple. As you can see here, I'm going to pass these over to Dawn.
Yes, I shall attempt to put them back in.
Such an angel.
Trying to get them back into your pot.
And she's been trying to put them back into the pot.
God bless her. But not exactly successfully.
Well, I don't know. It's a hell of a lot better than that which I did. God, you see, do not do this, folks. Don't open your thing the wrong way around. Right. This is an amazing, amazing stitch. And, you know, I do have a pattern for it as well, but I'd like to teach it to you. Once you get it in your mind, you'll remember it. So all I am going to do, I keep the end bit here. You know, you always, when you're beading, you always have a bit of a tail in your hand, like this. I've got it over my fingers, in the same way as when you're knitting. You know how you hold on to the thread?
Hold the thread, yeah.
I am going to pick up, and this is, you only do what I'm doing now when you make the very first daisy in the chain. You pick up 4 of your petal colour, and 1 of your middle colour. You pull them down to within, again, about 4 inches of the bottom part of the thread. Hold that in your hand like this, and you go from the bottom of the first bead through to the end and up. So that you've created,
half your daisy.
Half your first daisy.
Okay, yes, yeah.
And then you literally pick up, so there are 6 beads in the petal of a daisy. In fact, I've got a daisy chain bracelet on. Let me take this one off, because it's a lot easier to see this one than that one, okay? So you've got 6 beads in this. You then pick up, so I got 4, you then pick up 2 beads, and you go through the bottom of the bead at the top here. Now, the daisy chain bracelet is another point in time where I would say go around it again. Because, well, you can see here, look, if I let go of that piece, it starts to unwind.
So you want security there.
So I want security. So I know I'm coming out the top of that bead, okay? So what I will do, quite simply, is I will go all the way around this again. So here we go. I'm now going through the 2 side beads.
So you're basically taking the yellow as the centre.
The yellow as the centre.
And the red to go around
and
it.
I'm doing it with
flower.
red. In fact, actually, this would make a great Christmas flower. I might do a little half hitch stitch here, which is like an old-fashioned blanket stitch.
And why is that? Just to secure it?
To secure it, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going through the bottom bead here, and I'm going up through the 2 side beads again, because I want to come out at the top. And now, for the rest of this daisy chain bracelet, you always...
Can just hold that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
You see? Pretty
So I've made my very first flower here.
So pretty. That's a daisy.
It's a little daisy, yes.
Yeah.
So my next one, I am going to pick up
the green one.
a green one,
Yeah.
a red one, and a green one. So I pick up 3 beads on my next stitch.
Yes.
And I'm going to come up here. So I'm going to make part of the
Those are
leaves.
like your leaves then.
They are the
that's
leaves.
Cute.
And then on the next pass, I'm only going to pick up 2 beads. So I'm picking up a green one, and I'm picking up a red one. And I'm going up through the red one, and that will seat. It's so clever. So I've now got my 3 beads at the side there.
Right, lovely.
Now, again, you don't have to, but I promise you, you will love me for telling you this. Go back through them all again.
Just to secure.
Just to secure it.
Well, there's nothing more frustrating if you ever catch something and one little thread, and you catch it, and it can unravel the whole thing. You don't want to do that. So that security of the extra stitching, that extra time is going to make all the difference.
And also it will stop it gaping and looking too floppy. Right. And now I am going to, because I only picked up 2 in that last one, I'm going to pick up 3.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up 2 red ones, and I'm going to pick up 1 yellow one.
Okay.
If it will go on the end of my needle. Always take the needle to the bead.
Okay.
Don't pick up the bead and that, because it'll slow you down. And I'm now going to go through the bottom of my top bead here. I'm going to flip it over again, because I find that's the easiest way of doing it. So I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I picked up 3 beads that one. So the next one, I'm going to pick up just 2 beads.
Okay.
And actually, if you analyse this stitch, it's like a zigzag. So this will now complete my second flower.
Now, this doesn't look too difficult to me. You know, could a beginner challenge?
I think this is a great stitch for a beginner. And you know, if you consider that you could just get, like the daisy full of beads that we have over there, think how many hundreds of daisy chain bracelets you can make with that. So
but these are lovely. You're using some beautiful crystals here, aren't you? Again, what is this particular bead called?
This is called a bicone.
A bicone, okay.
So it's the most common of the crystal family. In fact, you know, if you read beading books and beading patterns, there we go, look, we've now got
2
daisies here. So if you read beading pattern books...
Can we just show that again there? There's your 2 daisies there as well for you. How pretty is that? That's lovely.
And all you need for doing this wonderful daisy chain stitch is a bunch of bicones in 3 colours. And yet it looks $1 million. You know, what a great present to give to somebody. I love these.
So pretty.
I make these out of so many different colours.
Yeah.
You know, we must have hundreds of different coloured crystals back in our offices. And gosh, I make hundreds of them.
But they're such pretty little bracelets. Now, if I can ask you, because we've only got a few minutes left, Kleshna, we have, obviously, you quite often will create more of like a button there with your beads.
Right angle
and
weave.
a little loop for you to actually pop that through. And that's how the bracelet's actually secured on the wrist. So could you give us any tips for that, seeing as we've just a few moments left?
I will do, yes. That button is made from right angle weave. You know, I said it comes into a million different things. And literally, you do 3, so you will do 4 stitches of right angle. In fact, we've got a few minutes left. How many minutes have we got?
About 3 minutes.
3 minutes left. Shall I attempt to make a button? I will show you. The button is so easy.
3 minutes. Go
3
on,
minutes,
challenge
okay.
you. See what you can do in 3
Challenge
minutes.
Kleshna. 2.
See what you can do in 3
3,
minutes.
4. Okay. We're going to make a button. We are going to do this right. This is a right
I
angle
like
weave
this
button.
as well because, of course, then you've got the perfect coordination rather than a metal button of a different colour on
Well,
it.
also, it's cheaper. You're not buying any findings, and it's hypoallergenic. If you've got somebody who's, you know,
Struggling with metal.
who's struggling with metal. So, right, okay, I have put 4 beads on. I've done 1 pass of right angle weave. I'm now doing the second of right angle weave, so I've got 3 beads in this one. Oops. I've got 3 more beads in the next one. I'm almost there. I've almost made my button. Can you believe this, Dawn? How fast is this? Can you imagine having a shirt or a blouse or a
and making
cardi,
beautiful crystal
making
buttons
beautiful
for it.
crystal buttons for it? It would be absolutely superb. Right, and now
You're
I'm
putting them
going
together.
to put, so I've got those 3 there. I'm now going to get 1 crystal only. I'm going to go all the way around here to this other side here, which I've got a knot stuck in. I'm going to go through there. So I've got a crystal here and a crystal here. I'm going to pick up another crystal, and I've got a crystal here. So let me just show you the shape it is.
Okay.
So it should look like that. So with a crystal either side of this, and then I'm going to pull them all together like that, and I got my button.
Wow.
And I told you, I did it very quickly. And you then have to spend, your time is spent
Sewing that together to strengthen it.
sewing it together to strengthen it. So you sew it in all the way around, and then the button goes on at a slightly coquettish angle.
Yeah, if you take a look here at the button attached to the top of here, there you go, just sewn onto there, and then your loop is just a little loop.
And I've used 9 4mm crystals to create the loop there.
And your button, how many beads is in there?
12.
12 crystals is formulating
how's that
your button.
for knowledge?
That is fantastic.
You can tell how many of those I've made.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
That's lovely. Love
My
that little
pleasure.
tip at the end. Kleshna, I certainly hope we have more craft academies with you.
Thank you very much indeed.
There is so much more, of course, for people to learn when it comes to jewellery making.
There's a whole world of it.
Yeah, the world is your oyster. So watch out for more craft academies that do feature jewellery making. We focused on the right angle weave and some other fabulous tips from Kleshna as well. It is all about education, giving you hints and tips, and you could be creating very beautiful pieces of jewellery. Maybe you could be selling them for charity, for your own business. Whichever way, you're going to have many, many hours of pleasure by working with fabulous beads and such great inspiration from Kleshna as well.
Thank you.
Fabulous hour. Thank you so much for your company as well, for joining us. I hope you have such fun making jewellery and creating beautiful pieces like these.